This Protoman review is brought to you by Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store, the ultimate in toys.
So the two figures we've been waiting a while to come out have finally debuted. Now we have the Ninja Turtles Wave 2 Classic Collection, and we're going to start with Bebop. And then afterwards I'll do Rocksteady, but let's do a retrospective of this classic character. So let's do this.
Protoretro.
So here he is, the bad Mamma Jamma himself, one of the two of the aloof delinquents that Shredder made. We got Bebop. I don't like talking about packaging much, but I'm just going to point out one wacky thing. The box art that was used on the back here. I don't know what the artists were really going for, because this stylized design of art is actually even inaccurate to what the action figure is. I'll get into it more when I open it up. And I find it very weird, the stock packaging that was used here. Like the weird disconnected head that Leonardo has, there was actually, the head was used for a lot of promotional material, and they just tacked it onto a body. And it's kind of the same thing with Raphael over there. Very weird art design was used for the packaging, but that's all I'm really going to talk about with that. Let's crack him open and we'll talk about the figure. So here he is out of the packaging. Now, the first thing let's talk about is aesthetics and kind of the controversy behind these toys, especially this wave specifically, and what the designers were going for this look. Now, I know a lot of people have been complaining about how, especially the second wave, how it's not really true to the cartoon design of the show. And I do agree a little bit. There is stuff that is absent with both Bebop and Rocksteady. We'll focus on, obviously, Bebop at the moment. But I feel that I believe the Playmates designers, and specifically the in-house Spin Master guys too, were probably going for something that was more akin to the original toys, mixed mildly with what was present in the cartoon. And when I say the cartoon, and I noticed this a lot more with Rocksteady, they seem to be pulling more from the first 3 episodes of Season 1, which had a very, very different animation design and was a different animation studio and crew from the rest of the 8 seasons of Ninja Turtles that came afterwards from the 1988 Fred Wolf line. Let me just pull in the original Bebop right here. Now, there's a lot of cues to the original toy that are present. Specifically, the wristbands, and one being larger than the other and of a different type. The shoulders, stuff that also is present in the animation design, but it's clear that the designers obviously pulled from the original toy kind of first before considering the animation model. And this is also where I was talking about before with with the box art here, where the box art, they were going for a very weird design where I almost feel like I don't even know what they were playing at, where they gave Bebop an undershirt, they gave him a knee brace there, a patch on his knee. The Converse shoes are actually designed differently there that he normally wears. Same thing, his belt is a traditional belt as opposed to it being a chain belt, which even was, again, present with the original 1988 toy. So I find it very bizarre what they were going for when they were doing this toy. It's a very big amalgam of both the original cartoon, specifically the first 3 episodes of Season 1, and the original 1988 Playmate toys, which had a very wacky aesthetic to begin with that were also quite a departure from what was present in the cartoon. But anyways, that's more or less what I want to talk about, the aesthetic and the aim that they were going for there. But that being said, great looking figure, standalone on its own. Looks amazing. Definitely very nice, very bulky, very heavy, and very cool. Nice articulation. Again, considering he's a bulky figure, the articulation is great on him. Let's talk about the weapons. Now, this is the second shortcoming that I find that Bebop has. He comes with only one weapon, and that's, again, it was the classic weapon from the original Ninja Turtles action figure. It was called the Turtle Shell Drill. And sadly, it's the only weapon he comes with. The original Bebop toy came with a slew of weapons, actually. Of course, the original turtle shell drill. It came with the garbage can shield, which we all knew. And then he came with a knife. Similar, small little knife there. And the funny thing with Bebop is that the turtle shell drill, despite that it's the only accessory that he gets, this toy, the turtle shell drill was actually an accessory that was never associated with the character outside of his action figures. He didn't have it in the cartoon. He always had a different gun from Rocksteady that was more like almost like a miniature mortar / machine gun, or he would have something similar to Rocksteady's traditional machine gun. Same thing in any video game appearances. He always had a traditional machine gun or those Dimension X blasters. He never had his drill cannon. And the funny thing is, and I'm going to bring in also the mutating version of Bebop. This is the mutating version. It also came with a version of the turtle shell drill, and I'll just put them all next to each other here. You know, and I mean, the character has had that associated with him through all his action figure releases, but it was something that was never associated with the cartoon. And so that's where I also get a feeling that the Playmates designers are really going for that toy aesthetic instead of something that's more traditional to the cartoon, which explains a lot when it partakes to the Turtles too and why they look the way they look. Which, by the way, I think I'll bring that out right now also, just to give you a scale comparison here. Now, the Turtles are slightly larger than Bebop here, but also it's probably because he's hunched over a bit. And I mean, if we bring out, let's say here, we'll bring out a Raphael from the original line and bring back Bebop here. Bebop from the original line, he's towers over him a lot despite the fact that he's hunched over. So again, I think it has more so to do with the fact that while these two toys were designed in the same wave and, you know, made at the same time, this was testing water, essentially, this figure. And when it was successful, they brought about this line, but obviously you could tell that there was paint differences and quality control is different. Even the plastic that's used on this one is different than this one. And it brings me to actually the last accessory, which is the little stand. Now, the stand for Raphael had weathering on it and had a lot more paint. And when they got around to that second wave with Bebop and Rocksteady, all of that was lacking except for just putting the name. Which I find very bizarre. And again, it kind of tells me that this time around, while they kind of went a little more all out with the Turtles, there's a lot more flexible plastics used. And the accessories were, you know, metal and had paint on them and everything. They took a safer route for the Bebop and Rocksteady wave. And I don't kind of blame them because they need this wave to be at least mildly successful so they could continue forward with the rest of the line. But it's a little bit of a shame the way they went this time around. But I don't blame them because, I mean, if this line stays alive and we get more, if that's the way they need to go, that's the way they need to go. That being said, I think Bebop is a great figure, and I heavily suggest you pick him up because despite all the little things that I've nitpicked at, it's still a great, great, great figure. And I'm pretty sure that down the line, we might even get a rehash of this, and we might get something a little closer to the show accuracy if Playmates feel they need to do that. It wouldn't be the first time that they've revisited Ninja Turtle toys and tried to make something more show accurate with the original 88 line, so who knows. Anyways, this is Protoman of Protoretro, and this has been a video review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classics Collection Bebop. So until then, guys, take care.